Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game. The first tabletop role-playing game, in fact. In role-playing games, participants take on the part of characters in a shared story. One player usually plays the role of referee or game master, playing the part of all supporting characters who might help or hinder the main characters, as well as the villains and the monsters who oppose them. It's usually the game master's job to set the stage for the plot and the story and to adjudicate the rules. But the events of the game itself, what the players do, is up to the group. Whenever there's a conflict, say a hand-to-hand fight between your character and a fire-breathing dragon, most role-playing games use dice to determine what happens. Dungeons and Dragons is all about fantasy, swords and sorcery adventures, and that remains the most popular genre for role-playing games. But there are other games as well, games set in the Star Wars galaxy, in Tolkien's Middle-earth, and in 100 other genres and settings, from the historic to the modern. With role-playing games, the only limit is your imagination. And in the past few years, there's been a real renaissance in games like these. 2019 alone saw the publication of over 3,000 brand new board games. Role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons have appeared in TV shows and in YouTube streams viewed by millions of fans. It's safe to say that tabletop gaming has gone mainstream. Here in Wisconsin, we've loved games since before it was cool. And why not? Maybe it's the need to keep busy indoors during the long, cold winters. Or maybe it's just our friendly Wisconsin culture. Role-playing games were born here, penned by Lake Geneva's Gary Gygax, and Wisconsin was Dungeons and Dragons headquarters from the 1970s until just before the turn of the new millennium. And the largest tabletop gaming convention in the world, GenCon, was founded in Wisconsin and hosted here for over 30 years. Games are definitely a part of our culture. The Madison area is home to more game stores per capita than perhaps any other city in America. Between miniature war games, board games, and role-playing games, thousands of Wisconsinites gather weekly with friends and family to play games. Tabletop gaming, in its DNA, is definitely a part of our state's history.